On Christmas Eve in 1945, a tragic and mysterious event unfolded in the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, that still sends shivers down the spine. George Sodder, an Italian immigrant, was celebrating Christmas with his wife, Jennie, and their 10 children. The family was in high spirits, enjoying the festive atmosphere, completely unaware that their joyful night was about to turn into a nightmare that remains unsolved to this day. The night began like any other Christmas Eve. The Sodder children were playing with their new toys while George and Jennie watched over them with love. As the evening wore on, the 5 older children went upstairs to bed. Around 1 a.m., Jennie was startled awake by the smell of smoke. Upon investigation, she discovered that the house was on fire. George and Jennie managed to escape with 4 of their children, but 5 children were still trapped inside. Desperate to save them, George tried every possible way to get back into the house. He went to fetch the ladder he always kept against the house, but it was mysteriously missing. He then attempted to start his trucks to use them to climb into the house, but both trucks, which had been working perfectly the day before, wouldn't start. The Sodders' neighbor called the fire department, but, shockingly, no one answered. When the fire brigade finally arrived, hours later, the house had been reduced to ashes. The authorities conducted an investigation and concluded that the 5 missing children had died in the fire, their bodies completely incinerated. However, this explanation didn't sit well with George and Jennie. They raised several questions about the fire. For one, the blaze wasn't intense or long-lasting enough to completely burn human bones. Experts confirmed that human remains, particularly bones and teeth, wouldn't disintegrate completely in such a fire. Yet, no trace of their children was found. Further strange occurrences deepened the mystery. George remembered that his phone line had been cut, and an investigation confirmed it was severed deliberately. The ladder, which had been missing during the fire, was later found at the bottom of an embankment, far from the house. Additionally, a bus driver passing through the area that night reported seeing people throwing fireballs onto the Sodder property. Jennie also recalled a strange phone call that came in just before the fire broke out. A woman with an unfamiliar voice asked for someone unknown, laughed, and then hung up when Jennie informed her she had the wrong number. Not long after, Jennie heard a thud on the roof, which she later speculated could have been one of the fireballs. As time passed, more suspicious details emerged. An insurance salesman, who had visited George shortly before the fire, had warned him that his house would go up in smoke if he didn't buy a policy. George had also been vocal about his opposition to Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, and he believed this might have made him a target for retribution by the Italian mafia. Over the years, various people claimed to have seen the missing Sodder children in different places. A woman reported seeing them with an unfamiliar couple at a hotel, while others claimed they had spotted them in different towns. Despite these sightings, no concrete evidence ever emerged to confirm the children's whereabouts. Determined to find answers, the Sodders conducted their own investigations. They put up billboards and offered rewards for information, but no substantial leads came in. They even hired private detectives, but their efforts yielded no results. In 1968, Jennie received an envelope containing a photograph of a man who resembled their missing son, Louis. The back of the photograph had a cryptic note that read, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Illeal boys. A90132 or 35. Despite hiring a private detective to trace the letter, the Sodders never found any more information. George Sodder passed away in 1969, and Jennie continued the search until her death in 1989. The family eventually took down the billboard they had erected for their missing children, but the mystery remains unsolved. The Sodder children's disappearance is one of the most perplexing mysteries in American history. Whether they perished in the fire or were abducted remains a question that might never be answered. The case has left a lasting impact, with theories ranging from accidental fire to organized kidnapping, and it continues to intrigue and haunt those who hear about it.